Hey, what's up, guys? This is Eric Wong from Team 4855 Batteries in Black. I've got another tutorial today for FLL teams. The tutorial today isn't going to be about how to use a specific block or do a specific thing, but actually I'm going to teach you how to teach yourself how to use blocks. This is going to be a really important tutorial because what I'm going to do today is really helpful. So what you can do is when you go up to the help menu up here, over up here, the help menu, and scroll down and go to contents and index. Click that, and it'll open up a browser. You don't actually need internet to find this because this file is saved onto your computer when you download the NXT-G software. So what I like to call this thing is the documentation for NXT-G, and it's a big like a library that explains how to use all the different blocks. So let's say for example I want to learn how to use the calibration block that I taught you guys how to use in the first tutorial. You can scroll all the way down to the bottom in the advanced block section and click calibration block. And there's a lot of reading to do. But it explains everything about how to use the calibration block. Like from over here, which is like how to configure the different settings on the calibration block, whatever each thing does, as well as down here. This is my favorite part that I check really often. It's a little table that explains how all the different data ports. Remember how I talked about data ports in our second tutorial? Sometimes I don't even know what some ports do. Like, it just shows me a little picture and I have no idea what it does. But over here it gives me a table and it tells me exactly what values, what kind of values that port takes. Like, so for example, this port, when I see this plug, what does that mean? It looks like an electric plug that I put in my like electric socket. But obviously over here it tells me that I can say I'm like, it seems to be telling me that it's talking about what port the sensor is in. So for example, let's say my I don't actually, I can't really think of a situation right now, but let's say just for example that the calibration block actually needs to know what port the sensor it is in. We don't know before we run the program. So we can somehow create an integer variable and give that value into this port, because this part explains that the port, like this data port, takes in what number the sensor port is. And here we can say that example numbers is 1, 2, 3, and 4, and it won't take anything else. So that's really helpful. Actually, this kind of documentation, I just wanted to tell you, is actually used for any other kind of famous and popular programming languages like Python and Java. In Python and Java, a lot of the things we do, they don't look like blocks, but they're really similar. We're basically writing stuff that the language already provides. Except in these languages, there are just thousands and thousands of different types of blocks. So there's just no way I can learn all of them. So there's a documentation library that's online, and people can go up there and figure out exactly how to use everything. This is just pretty much the exact same version of like real programming of the documentation, but for NXT-G. So really, I just taught you guys how to teach yourself how to use different blocks. So I'll just go over a couple different other things. Like, up at top, this is another calibration page, but this isn't about a block. This is how to use NXT-G and use your computer to calibrate your sensors. You could learn that on your own if you wanted. And there's it over here. You can see it goes through every single block and explains something for every single block. Let's go to move, for example. I'm sure we all know how to move, but over here it's explaining what all the different little tweaks you can do to it. And did you know that you could actually give information to the move block? You could, yeah, all these different ports are just explaining all the different things, and this table is explaining how to use all the ports, what all the ports take. and give. So really, this I felt kind of reluctant to make this tutorial, but I shouldn't really. Because because I basically this tutorial kind of takes over any other tutorial because it's explaining to you how to use every single different block. So you kind of don't need me anymore. But either way, if I'm sure it's helpful for you guys to see me actually implement how to use certain blocks in certain ways. So of course, I would still really appreciate it if you had any questions. Be sure to comment. Um, yeah, and subscribe and for even more videos because actually I'm gonna start a new series about PID control, some algorithms for precise robot movement, and this documentation is not going to teach you that because that's not a specific block, but how to use a bunch of blocks together in as a technique. So stay tuned for it, and that's all for today. Thank you.